Good evening. I would like to call to order the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for December 4th, 2024. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will start off with the roll call, please.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present. Moving into the approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the November 20th, 2024 regular trustees meeting minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And going into our elected officials report, starting us off this evening is our fiscal officer, Mr. John Patriarca.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. Hopefully everyone on the board and the audience was able to celebrate a wonderful Thanksgiving with friends and family. We certainly had quite the excitement in the Patriarca household. We had plenty of visitors from out of town, and they were able to get out. And so I would like to start off by thanking our service department for their tireless effort over the holiday weekend, keeping the roads clear, keeping the citizens safe. Certainly important on one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. So I'm sure Mr. Brown will fill us in on more of those details, but certainly a job well done, and we appreciate that. Moving into the township finances, approaching the end of the year as of November 30th, we're 92% of the way through the calendar year. Treasury balance for the 21 active funds within the township treasury is at $6.8 million. That does include $250,000 set aside for specific projects. Barring any unforeseen catastrophic events, we do remain on schedule to remain on the budget for the 2024 year, which I certainly think is something that should be celebrated. It's been a trying year, an exercise of tightening the belt, and really I think it's a testament to the board and the head of all our departments. We found a way to accomplish a great deal in my short 9 months here, but certainly it was impressive given the landscape of the economy, the rising costs, Concord Township being in somewhat of a tight position from a monetary and budget perspective, still able to accomplish a great deal. And I think, again, it's a testament to the board and the employees we have at Concord Township, finding alternative means of funding, not relying strictly on the taxpayers' dollars. So I think that's tremendous. I think it was a great exercise, and moving forward, I think that's something that we can keep in mind and apply to future years. I had the ability to attend coffee with the administrator last month, which was fantastic. I was able to speak with some of the citizens with Administrator Rose, and that was one of the key points that we talked about, was forecasting not just for 2025, but what the township looks like from a fiscal perspective in the next 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, regardless of who's sitting up at the table on the board, whoever's sitting in my seat. Hopefully the township is in a healthy position from a fiscal perspective, and we're able to create a path that's moving forward in a healthy manner for the citizens, regardless of who the active leadership is. So we'll talk a little bit more next, our final meeting of the year, but if residents have any specific questions regarding township finances, they can reach me directly at 440-354-7516. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarca. And moving into our trustees report, starting us off is Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I do want to comment, it has been a short 9 months, John, but you've shown great fiscal leadership and oversight. We appreciate the work that you've done this year. We're all very proud and very happy to have you with us. Thank you.
It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Great job.
Yep.
I also too want to thank hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. I know I did. Had lots of family in town as well. They did beat the storm. I do want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the service department for keeping those roads as safe as possible. You guys were just continuously working from Thursday night through Monday morning, and we just can't thank you enough. And I've heard so many comments from people, my neighborhood, people that I work with that live in Concord, what a great job they did, and they're so thankful for that. I also saw the sheriff out a lot and in many places trying to help stranded motorists. So thank you for your service too. You know, it reminds me that our safety services and our service department, it's really the glue that holds our township together in times when we don't expect big storms. You really help pull us through, so thank you very much. And there's more. We have more to look forward to, it sounds like, this evening. So please be prepared, be safe, don't go out if you don't need to. But hopefully it's not as bad, but we'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll be thinking about you, Tim, and Sheriff's Office. Hopefully everything's good. We will see everybody Friday at the annual tree lighting at 6 o'clock over here at the gazebo. Other than that, hope everybody has a good rest of the week, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I guess was fortunate to travel out of state, so
Yes, you were.
I don't have the perspective.
Yes.
Drove home on Wednesday, so I can attest to the quality of the roads, and I do want to thank the service department for being out there and doing a great job. I didn't get one complaint. We did see some folks saying a job well done, and that was very nice to see. So it's been a couple of dry winters, but we know this crew is awesome at what they do. So again, hats off to them. Thank you for what they do. Since our last meeting, I've continued to work on my 911 committee work, popping around and meeting some of the dispatch centers and the call takers of 911, and talking with the telecommunications in Lake County just to really educate myself on that. It's a gargantuan amount of information and project. This is a big effort, but excited about it. It's going very well. I look forward to the good work there. Also did do a day trip to a mini ICSC in Indianapolis. Was appropriately a mini version of what we do in Las Vegas. Few folks. So it was the first time we'd ever done it. They're starting to do more of these regional events. I went with our the JED administrator, Rita McMahon. So we're going to discuss that in the upcoming JED meeting as to whether we'll do it again or not. But it was a good exercise regardless. I'm really looking forward to the tree lighting on Friday. The weather does look like it could make it a treacherous one, but it's one of my favorite events that we do, is getting the tree lit in the evening. So I do want to thank Mr. Patriarcha for his hard work, and it has been a trying year fiscally, and it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here as part of our board. You bring a lot of energy and enthusiasm to a subject that by its own nature is really not a very exciting one.
I won't take offense to that.
I think that's the part where it makes me smile, is that I talk with you and I'm like, he's a numbers guy.
He's
But
excited.
you make finance exciting, and working with you is it's nice to have you. I have a lot of relief and faith in your abilities. So thanks for being part of the team. It's been a great 9 months, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Yeah, I would also like to say hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know it was nice having a family home. I had both my girls home. That was a challenge getting them back in the middle of that storm. One was flying south, the other was driving west, but it got accomplished. We had a nice holiday, and I hope everybody else did. Hats off to the service department. Again, job well done. It was a large first storm for Concord Township. We were probably one of the most hardest hit communities within Lake County. It's a lot of work. The fire department was busy. Our sheriff's department was busy keeping our community safe, so we appreciate that. I would like everybody just to be patient, though, with this next storm coming up. It could be a challenging again for our first responders as well as the service department, but they will be out doing the great job that they do. And I would also like to thank Mr. Patriarcha for a job well done. It's very great having him on board and being able to get some good feedback back from him as far as the budget and finances for the township, and he does an excellent job. So thank you. And moving on to departmental reports, our administrator, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer, members of the board, Mr. Patriarcha, members of the audience. Good evening. I'll start with some items on the agenda. I'm very excited that item A is on the agenda. That is Resolution 2024 TAC 29, which is for you to consider to approve the new contract with the Lake County Sheriff's Office for police protection in the township. This new contract will be effective on January 1st, and it provides 2 deputies on duty in the township 24/7. It's very exciting. Item D is a vote for the 2025 engineering professional services agreement for engineering services with CEC Incorporated. This agreement is a not to exceed an amount of $25,000, very similar to the agreement we have in place for 2024. And then item F is a request for an executive session to be held at the end of this meeting in order to discuss pending litigation, along with another subject of discussing employee compensation and collective bargaining matters. And this is pursuant to Ohio Revised Code sections 121.22, G1, G3, and G4. Moving on to other items, I too would like to thank the service department. They put in some very long hours, and they've performed admirably to keep the streets open and safe. Received a lot of good compliments and thank yous from the community that they did a great job. Additionally, I'd like to thank the fire department and the Lake County Sheriff's Office. They've had to deal with some spicy challenges during this interesting weather, and they too have performed admirably, and we all appreciate that here in Concord Township. As you know, the salt dome collapsed back in the service department due to the heavy snow. We are working with the insurance company to work through that claim. On November 26th, 2024, I accepted on behalf of the trustees a resignation letter from part-time firefighter Austin Hajuk McFarland. His last day was November 26th. We would like to thank Austin for his service to Concord Township, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. I continue coordinating with our fiscal officer and department heads on formulating the 2025 budget. Speaking of the fiscal officer, I've learned more in the last 9 months about spreadsheet formulas than I have my entire life. So I appreciate your
More to learn, more to go.
Excel ninja work, for lack of a better term. The old Fire Station 1 demolition is just about complete. I think there's just one little corner that's left. Everything else is, the tower's gone, and it's just about complete. So it's a little bit different landscape when you pull into Town Hall these days. Girdled and Auburn Road water line project is paused for the winter. Girdled is done with the exception of soil and grass restoration. That'll take place in the spring. And then the Auburn side is delayed until spring due to weather and asphalt availability. So that will pick up once spring rolls around.
Girdled Road's connected though, they have the water, yes?
Girdled Road is connected. The water test, the pressure test passed. They did the appropriate chlorination and sanitizing of the line. It's been flushed. It's my understanding the loop is complete. And then in the spring, it's my understanding that some of the residents have made arrangements to do their tap-ins.
So no one's tied in as of yet?
No one's tied in yet, no.
Do you know how many are planning?
I don't have that final count. I think Jeff, who's the project manager, has that count, but I can find out and send that to you. Next coffee with the administrator is scheduled for Thursday, December 19th, 9 a.m. This is on the third Thursday due to Christmas, and then next year we're moving all the coffee with the administrators to the third Thursday instead of the fourth Thursday. It just seems to work out a little better, and then there's no shifting later in the year. Just a reminder, Wreaths Across America is scheduled for December 14th at noon, one of my favorite events. There's always time to sponsor a wreath to be placed on a veteran's grave. You can visit our website, and then there's a Wreaths Across America tab on the homepage if you want more information, and I look forward to seeing everyone there a week from Saturday. And then finally, another reminder that the annual tree lighting ceremony will be this Friday at 6 p.m., and I look forward to seeing everyone there as well. And that concludes my report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Fire Department, Chief Sabo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Evening.
So for the month of November, we had a total of 240 incidents, including 152 EMS events with 120 transports. We had 88 non-EMS events and 7 fires. Inside of Concord, we had 3 fires, 1 vehicle and 2 grass fires. And outside of Concord, we helped with 4 fires, including 3 building fires and 1 wildland fire. We gave mutual aid 21 times, received mutual aid 9 times, and we had 68 overlapping calls for about 28%. So it was a little bit lower than normal, so that was a nice little break. The Fire Prevention Bureau completed 50 inspections, accounting for about 70 hours, and completed 3 plan reviews, and they completed about 8 hours of continuing education credits. They also assisted with 1 fire investigation to one of our mutual aid companies. Public education on November 6th, we had a fire safety and fire extinguisher training to 84 employees of Frontage Lab. So that was a nice turnout for them. And on November 21st, we had a station tour and training for the first aid badge for 16 Girl Scouts and 2 leaders from one of the Concord troops. So it was nice to have the scouting groups in to get some additional training and education. And I'm sure they did a tour of the station as well. So I'm sure that hopefully they enjoyed that. We installed 2 Knox boxes, and we had 2 returned. I want to take time to thank the firefighters during the storm event. There's always one shift that ends up getting the cleanup, right? So there's the shift or 2 of the actual event and dealing with the storm. Then you have the shift that always gets stuck with the cleanup. So they did a lot of hard work. Fortunately, we did not see a large number. We were not on I-90 a whole lot like we expected, so that was good. But we were busy with wires and trees down, and with the weight of the snow, bringing that stuff down and kind of making those areas safe. I also want to thank the service department because, without the partnership with Tim and his crews, we weren't able to. Our firefighters weren't able to access a lot of the driveways. So we had to use their resources and call them out to help us clear the driveways. And actually they loaned us a plow truck so that we could respond with a plow truck to get into these driveways and be able to access patients when we needed to. So without that, it would have been a lot worse. So thanks to them and the partnership that we have with them. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief. And our service department, Tim Brown.
Thanks everybody for all the kind words.
Get some sleep?
Yeah, I got some sleep. Yeah. I just want to thank the guys in the shop, the personnel in the service department. They did a phenomenal job. They worked several 12-hour shifts throughout the last 4 days. Hats off to them. They were tired by Monday afternoon. You could just tell they were tired. So they got good sleep last night. We're ready to go for the next upcoming storm tonight. So the service department in the month of November, we performed property maintenance to our grounds and buildings. In addition, we worked with the Lake County Stormwater Department on erosion control project on Fox Hill and an easement maintenance project on Cali Drive. To date, the service department responded to 7 call outs for snow and ice control, applied approximately 650 tons of salt to the township roads. Last week, our crew worked around the clock trying to keep up with the intense snowfall. During snow event, our crews were met with heavy wet snow and 1 to 3 inches of snow per hour in the snowfall. The heavy wet snow caused operators to plow at slower speeds to avoid damage to mailboxes and equipment, which in turn caused longer times to get through the routes. We appreciated the residents' patience and understanding throughout the snowstorm. In addition to maintaining the roads throughout the township, we had some equipment go down for repairs, causing other delays. The maintenance department quickly made repairs between shifts and got the trucks back up on the road. Due to the excessive amount and weight of the snow, the service department's salt dome has collapsed. We are working with the insurance company to have it replaced soon. We have additional storage bins on site, and we'll be moving the salt that we can get to those bins, so there's not an issue with any salt supply. We've ordered another 300 ton to accommodate the stuff that we can't get to in the bin until we get the bin replaced. The the yard waste drop-off has been extended another week due to the snowstorm and will now close December 13th at 2:30 p.m. The annual curbside yard waste collection that was scheduled for December 2nd will be rescheduled in the coming weeks. We are working with Major Waste on a new date. Please watch the Concord website for more information. The Service Department reminds residents of the Mailbox Snow Barricade Program. Residents can purchase a snow barricade to help protect their mailbox from snow impact during plowing operations. The application is located on the website under Forms and Applications. There is a $50 fee for the barricade, which includes installation by the Service Department. And residents with questions and concerns are encouraged to contact the Service Department at 440-350-3225 or by email at concordtwp.com under service. That concludes my report.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
And our zoning department report, Heather Freeman, our zoning director.
Good evening. Hi. So during the month of November, the zoning department staff processed 21 zoning permit applications and collected $3,150 in fees. Additionally, staff was busy performing inspections and completed 85 property inspections with open zoning permits and issued 26 zoning certificate of compliances for construction projects that were completed. Staff also began new investigations about 2 potential zoning violations. Lastly, just a brief reminder to our residents that may own a recreational vehicle, such as a camper or a boat, as boating and camping season has ended and winter is here now. Please keep in mind that if you're going to store these at your property, they need to be in an enclosed building, or if you're going to store them outside, that they need to be parked at the building setback line, screened from your neighbor, and on a driveway surface. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to the zoning department. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
Rec department, Sean Supler, our rec director.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
November was a relatively quiet month for the recreation department. Our main event that we had was our 55 plus Friendsgiving event, where we served Thanksgiving potluck meal to about 70 seniors. Today we held our holiday luncheon for our seniors and had approximately 60 seniors that braved the coming out in the snow to have a nice lunch supplied by the recreation department. Special thanks to Reserve House Catering for supplying the food, to Monica Daly from Foundations Health Solutions for donating dessert and helping to serve, and to Chief Sabo and Deputy Chief Bedell for coming to serve food at the event as well. On December 18th, we have our White Elephant Bingo. I just want to point out that Mind and Body Martial Arts will have his, and Ciro Grandine, Master Ciro Grandine, will have his final class this coming Tuesday at the community center as he is closing the school and going into retirement. We wish him all the best in his retirement. While there are many devastated kids in that program, they all understand and wish him the best as well. I believe we're going to do honoring of Ciro at our next trustee meeting, which is December 18th here.
Great.
We are doing rookie sports basketball coming up in January on Saturdays, January 25th to the February 22nd, from 10:15 to 11 for 3 to 4 year olds and 11:15 to 12 for 5 to 7 year olds, and that will now be held at Lamouth Middle School. Registration is ongoing, but spots are very limited at this point, so please register soon. We have gentle yoga on Tuesday mornings by Melissa Hopper, yoga Pilates fusion on Wednesday evenings, gentle yoga on Monday nights. Both those are taught by Colleen Stone. Our Let's Cook with LaDonna Altman is Thursday, December 19th, and it's carrot cake pancakes. As everyone has mentioned, this coming Friday, December 6th, will be our tree lighting ceremony here at Town Hall campus at the gazebo. And then a special visitor right here in the Town Hall meeting room. That event starts at 6 p.m. We'll have cookies, hot chocolate, and singing from a local youth choir. We hope to see you and all your families at the event. The deadline to register for our Light Up Concord contest is December 10th. Please register online or call the Recreation Department. The categories are traditional lights, which are red and green. We have a white lights contest, lights to music, and then the famous Clark Griswold competition. Online voting will take place between December 19th and January 5th, with winners announced after that. We delayed voting a little bit this year to kind of give people a little more time to get all that together. Saturday, December 14th is Letters to Santa with Mrs. Claus held at the community center. Mrs. Claus will be on hand to read books with kids and then help them write their letters to Santa. The cost is $10 a child, and we still have some spots left in that. Please call the Recreation Department if you're interested. And our last December event is our personal message from Santa. The deadline to register for that is December 15th, and you'll receive a short video via email before Christmas. Old Stone School is officially closed up until the spring. I want to acknowledge and thank Dan Maxon for all of his hard work that he puts into the Old Stone School every year. So thank you to Dan for all that he does for the township. And currently the Recreation Department is working on our spring-summer grapevine that will be released in February and cover the months of March through September. Please make sure you sign up for our e-grapevine. You can do that by visiting the Concord TWP website and sign up for the e-grapevine there. And since everyone else is doing it, I guess I should thank Tim Brown and the service department for clearing out the community center parking lot. We had some rentals over the weekend that were very appreciative of their efforts to clear them out parking spots. So thank you to Tim and his guys, I guess, for that. And I want to wish everyone happy holidays as we look forward to 2025. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean. And our law enforcement report this evening, Lake County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Bob Izzo. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Start by adding, I think Mr. Patriarcha is also a fantastic human being also, so it's good to have you in the township. Big highlight of the month for us, obviously, was the first Tuesday of November. I think we'll touch on that here shortly. Yep. But I can say the road patrol is very excited to add some depth here in the township. So for the month of November, about 960 pieces of activity calls for service. Really with the storm over the weekend, they were pretty busy, but thankfully nothing major. They were stuck on 90 for a little while with just some disabled vehicles, and that 4490 Auburn Road area is always tough, but they made it through just fine, and had one of our deputies who got called in early actually lives way out in like Thompson area, was coming in on Girdle Road and wiped out near Cascade and actually got hit by a civilian plow truck driver. Some little bit of minor damage to the cruiser, but he was able to get winched out and make it in. But it just shows you how treacherous the roads were during that little spell. Some cases to note. I think they started working this in October. There was a female that was passing some counterfeit bills at local businesses. I'm not sure if anybody reported on that last month, but some in the area down here on the Crowell Road corridor and up at some of the gas stations. A couple of our younger deputies actually were able to work that and identify her and have a warrant for her currently. So that was a good case they were working on. A few OVIs over the month, and then it seemed to be the missing person investigation month. A couple of note, we had an elderly male with some early dementia and cancer from Hoos Road that went missing. They were able to track him down in Holmes County, actually with the use of some flock cameras. I know the township has some investments in the flock cameras, but we're able to track his vehicle and get some help from our friends down there a little bit south of here. Had another runaway juvenile that was found in Mayfield Heights, and a resident of Orchard Road, distraught female who needed some medical assistance, went missing. They were able to find her and actually had to issue some CPR and get her to Tri-Point where she'll be okay. Now the only really ongoing investigation I think that's truly noteworthy is some of the new developments off Girdled. I believe they're going to be called Rogan Way, Ivy Ridge. It's
Ivy Ridge development.
Ivy Ridge, so that would be, I believe, like the north side of Girdled over there by Orchard. Some of the new, one in particular, one of the new builds, realtor was showing it to some people. I don't think anybody has made an offer or purchased yet. Showed up one day and there was significant damage to the inside, broke in, ruined a bunch of the appliances, holes in the wall, ripped fans off the ceiling. have a couple possible leads on that. That he showed it to some younger gentlemen a few days earlier. He thinks might be involved, so they're working that. That was just last week. So hopefully have an update next month with some charges there. But I think that's about it for now. I'll have some remarks, I think, in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, moving on to our audience portion of the meeting this evening. If anybody would like to come up and speak at the podium. Okay, seems there's none. Old business, we have none. Moving into our new business then for the evening. We have a few votes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-29, Lake County Sheriff Department contract.
And you have to suspend the rules.
Oh,
Suspend the
and,
second reading.
sorry, yes, I did see that. And to suspend the rules and the second reading.
I second.
And before we vote, I'd just like to make some comments. First of all, I'd like to again thank the Concord Township community for the favorable vote in issue 2. I mean, it's a proud moment for the township. I know that this board has put a lot of energy and work into recognizing how important public safety is, and law enforcement in any community is important. And this contract will allow us to provide 2 deputy sheriffs 24/7 within Concord Township to provide for the necessary needs of our community. It's a great accomplishment. The Sheriff's Department has a very experienced and professional cadre of deputy sheriffs, and they provide not only basic patrol service, but a lot of other services to our community that we're thankful for. So I'm proud that we were able to accomplish that. Thank you to Concord Township, and I'm proud to enter into this contract with the Lake County Sheriff's Office.
Everything you said, ditto. I agree with Chief Deputy Izzo to allow more depth with deputies into our community is super important, and I'm so thankful that our residents felt that way also. And like Mr. Dondorfer said, you do more than just stop people for speeding, right? You do so much for the community that it's really important to have your presence. So really thankful that it was a favorable vote in November.
Yeah, I think, again, I would echo the comments about how grateful, but I want to underscore the importance of this. I mean, Concord Township is not the community it was even 10, 15 years ago, and what managed itself back then doesn't cut the mustard today. We have a very busy business center. We have a lot of things going on, and this is just needed. There was no extra, there's no luxury about this. I was thinking, it was about a year ago I did that ride along, and I happened to come on shift and then be there for shift change, and I saw deputies coming and going. I saw the supervisors deploy, and I saw everybody out. And I know I talked about it back then about the energy and all these young guys. Carl, I'm sure you remember what they were out there and hungry, ready to go out and patrol and do their job, and excited to do it. And all I could think about was, if we got to a point where we didn't have the funds, about how many of those young guys were going to go looking for jobs elsewhere, and not having those faces or that energy and enthusiasm out there to keep our community safe. And that stuck with me for a year, and I think back to that day, and I'm just excited about the idea that they're not going anywhere, and maybe they'll be, maybe that helps them retain or get some more people. And I don't know, the chief deputy's here, and if you wanted to expand it all on depth and what this now allows the townships to do.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, thank you. To touch on your point, Mr. McIntosh, we had, after last November of 23, we had a candidate that we were looking at who, the weeks following the unsuccessful levy attempt, withdrew his application. And it's a young man, military experience, working in another agency within this county, very qualified, a great get, and he withdrew because of the sort of the instability that he saw. Wednesday, November 6th, he called and asked if we were still hiring and still interested in him. So, I mean, it just shows you we've And I'd be remiss to not thank Mr. Dondorfer for his years. It started under him when he was with us, but we have a culture that it's infectious, and I think you saw it when you rode along. We're attracting good young people because they want to come and work in a place like Concord Township. This is a premier location type of place where a good young 20-something, intelligent, educated, or military experience. This is where they want to work. So the stability I think that this affords us is I just can't underestimate it. We can sort of stop worrying about it for a while. I feel like we're in a good place. I won't get into the details, but I think we're actually in a better place than we were prior to even a year ago now, just kind of the way circumstances worked out. So we want to thank the trustees for all the hard work with all this. Andy, of course, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Sabo and Deputy Chief Bedell, obviously worked tirelessly with their crew to get this going, and I think the message that it was a fire levy, but it was for all of the safety services and to provide stability to the township. The message worked. So again, Chief, thank you again a lot. It means the world to us. So we just appreciate all you guys, and we're happy to be here. And like I said, the guys were excited about it, and they're ready to come out here with some more depth and get after it. So
Thanks,
thank you,
Chief.
guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Chief.
Okay, so for our vote, all in favor?
Roll call.
Oh, roll call. Yeah, sorry, roll call.
Mrs. Lucci,
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh,
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer,
Yes. Okay, moving on.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the fire department conditional offer of employment to Gavin Held for the position of part-time firefighter EMT basic pending background check and physical effective 12/4/2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, move to approve conditional offer of fire department, conditional offer of employment to Robert Lewis for the position of part-time firefighter EMT basic pending background check and physical effective 12/4/2024.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chair, I move to approve enter into a professional services agreement as needed with CEC Incorporated not to exceed $25,000 for the 2025 calendar year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and moving into our future meetings and announcements, Mr. Patriarca.
December 11th at 7 p.m. we'll have BZA meeting here at Town Hall. December 13th at 8 a.m. JED meeting here at Town Hall. And December 18th we'll have our at 5 p.m. From 5 to 6 p.m. we'll have our final trustee office hours of the year in the conference room, immediately followed by the trustee meeting here at Town Hall at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you, and I'd like to thank our young Boy Scout and his father that came to join us for our government meeting. Well, thanks for being here. And that concludes our business this evening. We're gonna move in.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move to, for executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 12122G3 and discuss collective bargaining and employee compensation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 12122G1 and G4.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Lucci.
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh.
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Yes, and there will be no further business after our executive session, so good evening.